Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Oh, mighty Ilus. Got a big update. They just did a little video for us, JP Backwell did, and there you see Nick and JP. They sometimes do a little bit of movie work. They did a movie several years ago, you might remember, as Step Brothers, but they primarily focus on the fire and safety sector, but you know, occasionally you got to make some money on the side. So anyway, that you probably saw them in that movie.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup. Yep, definitely Step Brothers. Anyway, let's get into Ilus, because like I said, they had a big video, and we'll talk about the important parts of it. And in this segment, he's going to talk about revenue projections, which are pretty important.
Right, so in this slide, I've just included a revenue forecast for you. This includes our completed and our agreed acquisitions. It does not include any further new acquisitions. Obviously, I'm confident there'll be plenty of those. But there you have it, a forecast of 120 million in 2022, and then ramping up towards 250 million in 2026. Here's a quick snapshot of our second quarter progress. The official figures or filings will be in on the 15th of August, and so that's when you need to check in for these specific results. However, I'm very confident that you will be pleased with the second quarter results, and the revenue will comfortably exceed that of the first quarter. In addition, the forecasted revenue for 2022 has increased substantially. And then other progress in the second quarter, again, these are just some of many, many highlights. The audit is nearing its completion, and with that should follow the fully reporting status and the name change.
All right, so that's pretty strong. So they're looking for 120 million in 2022. So that would be very good revenues. And they're saying the second quarter is going to be significantly better than the first quarter. And let's take a look at that. All right, in the first quarter, they did 3 million. So obviously it's going to be higher than that. And I know there's some question as to about 4 companies that have been moved over into ERT, and there's obviously going to be some consolidated accounting going on there, and that's how basically these companies that are under an umbrella of a parent company, how that all gets treated. And my understanding is the companies have to be 51% or more owned by the parent company for them to be able to do this consolidated accounting and count that revenue. So this gets into some real complicated accounting issues, which is why CPAs make good money. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I am one. I've run businesses, but I've never run a mergers and acquisitions company, which is what this is. So this gets into some accounting that's really a little bit above my pay grade. But my understanding is they will be able to treat that revenue as Ilus revenue as long as they own more than 51%, which they obviously do. And there will have to be an offset. You can't count the revenues twice. You can't count it in ERT 100% and then count it towards Ilus 100%. There'll be offsets in there, so it's not double counted. So again, we do expect the second quarter to be up above this 3 million. And even more important will be the net income. They did 600,000 out of that 3 million, which was a good solid 20% net income on that number. So I want to see if they continue down that path, because if they can stay around 15 or 20% net profit in this business and this in this sector, that would be outstanding. Because realize if they start doing $120 million, what's 20% of that? You're talking, what, 25 million bucks profit, which would be, that's significant. Now you're talking PE ratios that are going to look very different. And now we're going to get into the framework of all of these companies.
So this slide is a snapshot of the Ilus conglomerate structure as we see it. It's just one piece of the greater structure, with this slide, of course, focusing in particular on ERT. But I'm hoping it gives you a good framework of understanding for what we're doing, what we're planning, and where we're headed. And just to say that our plan is the continuous addition of aligned new subsidiaries to Ilus, with new assets being acquired. And whilst that's taking place, we are planning 2 spin-off uplists per year, or at least that's our goal. It could be 1, could be 3. So please don't hold it against me. It's still more than most. And you have Ilus at the top, which is the parent. It's undergoing an audit, which is nearing completion, as I've mentioned. And the view is that Ilus itself will become fully reporting, uplist to the OTCQB, and of course move on from that not so glorious name, Illustrator Pictures International. And then under Ilus, you have Emergency Response Technologies, which in itself has a public safety and an industrial subsidiary. So under that industrial subsidiary, because that's a bit newer to you, is the newly announced Quality International. And as mentioned, we'll be adding several aligned companies in the specialized engineering, industrial, utilities sector, etc. Of course, we have plans for ERC itself to uplist to a major stock exchange. I think many of you will be well aware of that.
And so there you can see Ilus as the parent company. And looks like there's going to be uplisting with at least 2 of those companies, which would be ERT, obviously, and then Ilus eventually after they go to the OTCQB. Ilus is planning on being really big, and I mean really big, it appears. And here we get into a summary of all what he's spoken about.
$20 million revenue this year, and that's increasing to upwards of $245 million in 2026 without factoring in any new acquisitions other than the ones already completed and agreed at this stage. We're continuously adding further value to Ilus with new subsidiaries and new acquisitions for those subsidiaries. I believe we still have a very committed and experienced and transparent management team, and we're continuously adding greater experience to the team. And of course, it's very important to us that the Ilus technology continues to make a difference in our communities and increases the difference that it is making in our communities. So in conclusion, you can look forward to a detailed, very interesting, and hopefully a very exciting Quality International presentation, which I will put out as soon as possible. You can also look forward to an update on the Serbian facilities, and I do believe that will be a very exciting update. Hopefully, through this presentation and through recent events, you can start to see a glimpse of the whole Ilus conglomerate coming together.
Okay, so you can see here, let me move this over for you. The detailed Quality International presentation, that should be very interesting. And now we know 100% sure that that's the company. And we've kind of known that for about a week now, that that was going to be the company that they're acquiring with over $100 million in revenue. And then the Serbia facility, which we've been talking about for months, looks like we're going to have an update in a few weeks on that. So that's pretty exciting. This is going to be a big company, no question.
Sincerely, I'd really like to thank the Ilus shareholders, the Ilus family for your ongoing support. It really does mean a great deal to Nick and myself and the Ilus team.
All right, folks, and that's just a quick, important update on Ilus. Looks like we're getting closer and closer to getting all these answers that we've been wanting. Now we know the company for sure, and then the name change of Ilus itself. So just a whole lot in that video. And if you have not watched the whole thing, it's only 15 minutes with JP Backwell, and it covers a lot more stuff than I just showed. I just kind of showed the juicy details, but I feel real good about Ilus long term. Now, it's a penny stock. Always remember that. Be careful with all penny stocks and OTC, but this is the one that, man, it's got a lot of juice. I really like it, and I'm holding long, and I also have a swing position as well with Ilus. Because, you know, with penny stocks, sometimes you need to take some profit when they go up, and because they do go up and down, as you know. And look at this chart. As you can see, this thing went from 5 cents up to 45 and back down. Now it's sitting right here on this newest resistance or support at 10 cents. It had dropped all the way down to 7, which was based on short manipulation, in my opinion. And people are shorting the crap out of this stock. Let's double check that. Yep, here it is, 52% short volume, 45, 46, 77. So there's a ton of short volume on this stock and always has been. So there's a lot of manipulation going on with this stock. And this is going to keep it down for a while, but it won't keep it down forever if they're holding these. At some point, they've got to get these shares back to the original owners. And if they don't, that's just going to keep costing them money. And one positive as well, our outstanding shares are still the same, 1.271, and that was updated on the 8th. So I like seeing it. I like seeing these constant updates. So we know exactly where we stand, and we know we're talking about a lockup offer to try to get some of these shares off the outstanding and put them into preferred category with probably some sort of interest rate attached to them, I'm sure, which would help our share price. So again, that's Ilus today. Just a quick update. And like I said, important update. Check out that video if you like with JP. And look for more updates. I'm going to keep my eye on Ilus. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you don't care. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.